and we start, right? I want to see what's happening in the markets. And yesterday, it was an interesting article in the Wall Street Journal saying that we start having good news and the fears about recession are moving away, and as a result, the markets are moving up again. That is something I can see if I look at what happened the recent period and I see a jump in the market. And this is NASDAQ, which is the market that deals mainly with technology. And yesterday we have a very special section of the Wall Street Journal with 250 best companies in management. Out of the 10 top companies, 9 were technology companies. And technology really drives the market. If you want to see how the rest of the companies follow, you can look at Dow Jones Industrial Average. And Dow Jones Industrial Average also made a jump. Not as big as you see it here with NASDAQ. Standard & Poor also made a jump. Russell 200, 2000 made a jump. And the Dow Jones Total Market Index is jumping up. I will stick to NASDAQ because I want to see what's happening with the technology companies. And the technology companies are interesting because while before we had Apple to be the leading company, now we have Amazon to be the leading company. And the reason that Amazon is the leading company is because Black Friday is coming up. And because I do not intend to get up early in the morning on Friday and go out shopping, I already start shopping for my Black Friday shopping. And Amazon is a technology, although it is a retail company. And I want to know how to start using technology. So you go here and you double click to see what's happening in the market. You see what's happening in the market, and you have the information about NASDAQ. You go on, you specify what you want, you double click, and you have what's happening in NASDAQ. Whenever you have what's happening in NASDAQ, you see what happens for the last 5 days. You look at what happens today. Today, things are going up and down. That red line is the closing value of yesterday's index. You go on and you look at history, and you look at last month. You look at the last 3 months. You look from the year to today. You look from 1 year, and you look for 3 years. You click, and you have what is going on for the market. This is for 1 year. This is from year to today, January 1st to today. This is from last year to this year. So this part captures what's happening around Thanksgiving last year. The line that you see is a moving average line, but you can be able to go and edit it. And this is moving average for 200 periods. If you want to have moving average for a month, you can make it for a month. If you want to have a different moving average, you can have a moving average. If you want to compare what's happening in the market to what's happening with any other company, you go on and you compare to see what is happening with Amazon or any other company you want. And now you see two things. I take the moving average from here, and I see two things. I see what is going on with this Amazon and what is going on with the Nasdaq. Blue is Amazon, black is Nasdaq. I make a comparison. The comparison is in percent change. If I want to see anything else, and I want to put Apple, I will put Apple in the picture. As I put Apple in the picture, what do I see? Kenya. What do I see? Black is the Nasdaq index, blue is Amazon, and the other color is Apple. Can't hear you. So more or less, up to September, they had similar performance. After that, one is doing better. Which is the horse that is moving faster? Apple. You can go on, and you can be able to make change of that particular race. This is the what period that you want to focus. If you focus in that particular period, you know what's happening from August up to the present period. And if I want to see, now that I know what is happening, right? From August to November, what is happening with these two companies, I would like to compare them. And I want to get data. Where do I get data? Victor, if I want to get data from Apple and from Amazon, from where do I get the data? What's happening with the stock prices?
Yahoo Finance.
I'll go to Yahoo Finance. I make that part large. This is what I want to focus. I want to go from the August 1st or August 5th to today. I will go to Yahoo Finance. As I'm in Yahoo Finance, I need to find out what is happening with Apple. And if I want to find what's happening in Apple, I double check the case here. And I see Apple has a great increase. I'll take the same. I will copy, paste, open another window. Now, I want to see what's happening with Amazon. Is this Amazon? No. Go on and search. AMZN is Amazon. This is Amazon. I want to see what's happening for a year in Amazon. I want to see what's happening for a year in Apple. I can get the data. I'll go to historical data, and if I want historical data, I define the period. Which period did you want me to look at? You want me for all the year or from August 1st and after?
August 1st and after.
You say August 1st. I go and I specify August is the 8th, the 1st to today. Done, apply. And I have the Apple I download it. I go to Amazon. I need historical data. For August 1st to today, apply, download my data. I
Okay.
have the two files here.
That was August 1st, 2018.
I take the files and I want to see them. I double check. Is this from August 1st? Yes. Is it to the period that I have now? 11/25. Today is the 11/26th, right?
Right.
So I have up to yesterday what happened in one company. I go on and I check the other company. As I check the other company, I double check the periods from August 1st to 11/25. What do I want to see? If I want to make a candlestick graph, we did last week, and I explained what happened with the candlestick graph, we can do that part. Now what I want to do is I want to compare what is going on, and I would make a decision with respect to closing file. I copy the dates. I have a new file that is a workbook file, and I paste the dates. Since I have the dates, I go and I take the Amazon closing price. And I specify this is Amazon. And then I take the closing price from Apple. I copy it, I paste it. This is Apple. This is now what I want really to do. I take the values and I mark them as dollars. And as I have that information, I want to see what is happening with the prices of these two. I take the data and I make a graph in order to see what is going on with the prices. What did we say we do? When we have a graph, we like the graph to be professional. We put some color. We take the graph and we see what is going on. We see the Amazon price is moving high up. The Apple price is moving much lower. It's smaller in terms of value. What do? We take one of these, any one you want, and you format it in a secondary axis. In such a way, you see what is going on. Now that they're in a secondary axis, you see what we saw before, that lately the price for Apple is moving up, while the price for Amazon is staying low. Do you see it? Do I want you to do anything else? Or put it differently, if you give me this graph, would I give you an A or a B+? Can you? No, I'm gonna give you a B plus. What do I want to do? I don't want things to start from 0. I want to go on and format the axis. What do you have here? You have here the value of Apple. The value of Apple, as you see it, does not start from 0, but you can start it from $125. If you started from $125, then you have a different emphasis because the scale is different. You want to do the same thing with the value of Amazon. That's the axis for Amazon. You go on and see what is the part. And now you can look at that case. What else do you see in the graph? You're talking about $200 and about $2,000. Are pennies relevant or not? Vanessa says pennies are not relevant. Then you go to your data and you take the pennies and you take them out, because in that case they are not relevant. You have the information and you can be able to make a story. What do you say? What is happening with the closing price of these two stocks? What do you see? Mainly from August to the beginning of the year, the stocks are going down. But from the beginning of the year and up, the stocks are going up. If you want to give a story, you pick up a given period. And if you give up a given period, what do you want? You want to have the graph from the beginning of August, or you want to have the graph from the beginning of January? Kenya. You want the graph from January. Do you need to make another graph, or you can use this graph? So Kenya says, I'll take this graph, I'll copy it, and I'm gonna paste it. And if I have this graph and I'm gonna copy and I will paste, I'll take the data from here, I click the data, and I go, and I will start this data not from that particular period, but from January. It's much easier. And then we'll take the time period and you will start the time period from January. And then you will take Apple and you will take Apple and you will start Apple. From January. And you would look at different graph. You would look at one graph. Go on and see both of them. You will see now very fast two different graphs. One graph that starts in August and the other graph that starts in January. How much time I want you to spend to make these changes? 5 minutes or not? I'll give you 5 minutes. If you make one graph, you take it. Then you practice how you would make an arrangement. You can extend or shrink the different cases. Why do I want to do that part? Because I want to see what would happen if I look at the trend. And I want to be able to make a comparison. If I want to have now a different graph for Amazon and a different graph for Apple, do I need to spend more time, or I can use copy and paste and have it done? Good. Sultan says I'll take this and I will do copy and paste. I'll take the first graph, I will copy it. I will take the first graph and I will copy it. As I copy this graph, I will copy it once for Amazon, and I will copy it twice for Apple. I'll take the graph for a different period. I'll copy it, I'll paste it once, I'll paste it twice. What do I want to do? In this case, I will keep Apple. In this case, I will keep Amazon. Since Amazon now comes into the primary axis, I can go and I can adjust the axis. And as I can adjust the axis, I can put the axis that I had before. I can adjust the axis and I can put the axis I had before. And I will see the two graphs in a completely different way. What do I want you to do? I want you to have things done in a professional way. I want you to be efficient, which means to do the right thing. And as you are efficient, I want you to be very fast and be productive, to do it as fast as possible, as good as possible. Then I need to see what is the trend. I need to see what is the trend. Do I have anything right, or do I need to see something different? I have both graphs of the same period, right? I don't need them. What do I need? I need one graph for the other period. I take it and I make a correction. I'm in a learning process. I take a correction. I'll take this graph and I will put it up here. And this is what I want to see. I'll take this graph and I'll put it down here. This is what I want to see. And I go on and I look at the two different time periods, the same stuff. What do I have? I have from the beginning of January to today. I have from the beginning of August to today. I have exactly the same stocks for different time periods. And I want to make an analysis. You see how much is important to select the time period that you would like to analyze. And if I want to see what is going on, I will click at my data, right click, and I will add a trend line. And if I add a trend line, I have options. What trend do I want to put? I can put an exponential, linear, logarithmic, polynomial, power of moving average. Do you see the line that you have there? You have the line. You can be able to format it. You can see how the line it is. You can give it more color. You can be able to change the type. You can see it in a different way. You can format it. You want to see what is the equation, and you want to see what is the R square of that particular line. Don't tell me. What happened? Crashed. I lost it.
Oh no.
Did I save it? No. Do I learn from that?
Yes.
What do I learn?
Save.
Always, anytime you
Make a change.
finish a task, you save your work, so your work would not be lost. And I want to go and see what is happening here. Now I have it. What do I need to do? Save it in my desktop, that I need to know what is happening. APPL and AMZN at the 11:26. This is what I have. What do I want to do? I want to take and see what is the trend line. The trend line has an equation and an R square. The trend line is something that I would like to see. If I want to see it, I can make it with different form. I have that information here. I'll keep it small, and I want to see, is this what I really want, or I want it for a smaller period? This is not what I had, right? This is for the entire year. I want to have it for a smaller period. Now I'm testing you. As I do that, I click the data. I have here, what are my data? Which means if I want that to be for smaller period, I take it and I bring it to the beginning of January. I take it and I bring my data, not that part, this part, for the beginning of January. I have it for the beginning of January, and I see a different graph here. What happened before? I lost it. Now I'm learning it. I'm saving it as it is here. I want my Amazon to be for the beginning of the year. I want my Amazon. I click it. I want my Amazon to be from the beginning of the year. This is from the beginning of the year. I want to have it for the entire period. What do? I make it for the entire period. I make it for the entire period. I take the data from here, and I make it for the entire period. Is everything clear here or not? Is everything clear here or not? I see that that particular information, it is something I need to pay attention. I go up here and I say this is something I need to pay attention. This is my data. I go and I see my graph. This is my graph that I want to have. What do I need to do? I can click and see the axis, and I want for this graph to have a trend line, linear. I want to see the equation. Crossing again today. Too many crosses, right? Where do I have it? I need to go on and see what's happening. Too many crosses. This part to have a trend line. I want to see the equation. It doesn't want to calculate. Today the computer doesn't want to calculate things. Let's go back. What do I need to see here? What is this information?
The y and r squared.
And I want to know what is the line in the r squared. I need to capture that and increase it. Somehow I have a hard time to do So what is this number that I get here? Is this line a representative of the ups and downs that I have of that period? No, it's only 12%. I go on to this line. If I have r squared here, it's gonna cross it. Crashing all the time. I go on. To see, the computer, I guess, doesn't like me to do these things today. Good. I would go and I would do the simple things. I take the information that I have, and I go to my original file. I will save that file in a way that I will keep everything in the file as a workbook, and I'll have that information as a workbook. If I have that file, this is the Apple closing price that I have. This is the Apple closing price that I want to see what is happening. I want the Apple closing price to be from the beginning of the year, right? That's the Apple closing price, AAPL, from the beginning of the here. I will take this out from here. I need to put it up on the top.